Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to our very, very special weekly game of D&D. I'm not sure why it's a very, very special session,
Because we're all very special.
but it is.
That part
So
is fair.
I've said it. It's the thing. We're gonna roll with it. We are down a couple of players today due to illness and other activities taking their time away. But we do have Steven and Nat and Danny and Braden at the table, so we are going to soldier on.
You remembered all of our names. Good job.
It's the character's names he has a problem
Yes.
No, it's sometimes he just
Sometimes
forgets
I
me,
just-
and that's okay.
Sometimes I just blank on names. I'm terrible with names.
That's
I have a
fine.
terrible, terrible memory, which is why all of your NPCs are that guy.
You remember that guy.
Do you remember that guy? Yeah.
It gets
I-
really complicated when you don't do that.
for the life of me, I know in my notes somewhere I've got the name of the mayor written down. He was one of the first people I
Starts
named.
with an L.
He was one of the first people I
Leroy.
named. I cannot remember it. So
Leroy.
he essentially does not have a name.
Give me 5
Anyway.
minutes, I'll find it.
Carlisle.
Anyway,
Carlisle, there you go.
we are going to continue on this evening with the players we have, and with you lovely people who are here watching us as we do so.
Oh, one of you maybe.
Before we get started, as always, we do have a few announcements. All of our video content does wind up on the YouTube channel, so you can go there, or you can just search for Casual Cactus on YouTube. That is casual with a C, cactus with a K, all one word, and you'll be able to find it.
It'll be a lot easier than trying to
It will
memorize
be a lot
that
easier than
25
trying to use
character.
that whole thing that was on the screen there. It is a small channel, which is why we don't have a custom URL. So once you do go to the YouTube channel, if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe, help us grow that, and maybe someday in the next 5 years, we'll have a custom URL.
Or tomorrow.
We'll see. All of the video content that we do does go there. So all of the videos of our sessions that we do live here on Twitch wind up on YouTube. So you can go and watch all of the back episodes if you need to catch up on something from one week to the next. If you're a little bit behind and want to get caught up from the beginning, go for it. It's 38 streams long now, 39, 40.
About 100 hours worth of content-ish.
And each of them is about 3 to 4 hours. So, yeah, you got your time in.
100 plus hours of content.
You've definitely got your work cut out for you. But feel free to do that. We do also have a couple of other campaigns that we've done. One that I've done, a couple that Danny has done, is doing, and you can go and watch all of those. One shots, custom content. So we'll all of those do wind up on YouTube for your perusal.
Yeah.
To help us with our to help us with getting information out to you guys, to interact with you guys, we do also have a Discord server up and running. Good place for learning about when we have changes to the schedule that are completely unavoidable. We will typically post those on the Discord server, so that is a good place to it's a good place to subscribe to and keep tabs on what's going on with the channel. Wow. You guys are missing all of the right
I was joking on a Friday.
That was rude.
But yeah, the Discord server is a good place for announcements. You can also keep tabs on Kyrie's creative streaming. She does a lot of stuff during the week, and will always post all of those announcements there as well. So that is all I have as far as announcements
Go with your
go.
grandma. There's just going to be math here. Flee!
So this is normally the point where I open up the table for
Take those and show Grandma.
for recaps, but we've got a little bit of stuff going on, so
One moment.
give us a moment.
For you at home. Come on. Come on, I've got some original dice I can give you.
Oh. I
Oh.
love you, Erin.
It's okay. I love you, baby.
Give mommy the dice. Give mommy the
She
dice.
can do this.
I have brand new dice for her at home.
Oh.
There you
You have your own special dice.
go.
Oh.
Bye, sweetheart.
Oh. It's so sad being that little.
It's so hard.
And then you got the one that just looks at its reflection.
It's like, yeah,
If I
okay.
get his face on a camera,
He's
He's all good.
He knows he's a handsome boy.
Narcissist.
So,
But only in the Greek
who can
term.
or who wants to do a recap of what happened last
I
week?
can-ish.
I
Um,
can't.
Okay.
I have like half of
A
it
candid
written,
dish.
but I know what happened to the other half, so it's fine.
All right.
Okay, so
Go for it.
Hi, guys.
Simi doesn't realize that everybody else saw what In-Year showed her, and everybody gets super drunk. Or maybe that's just, they just seem drunk because Simi is super wasted. Either could possibly be applicable, but I'm at least pretty sure that it was me, you, and Cabbage that got drunk because we were having a real rough time. And at some point in there, somebody told me that everybody else saw all of the dirty laundry involved in that scene.
My dirty laundry.
Yeah, well, your dirty laundry and
Your dirty
bit of
laundry
a-
that fell on top of Simi.
yeah, fell
Well,
on top of me and tried to murder
actually,
me.
I don't think anyone knows that that's related to Simi.
Except,
He said her name, so.
No, she did. He didn't.
no, he mentioned who she was, though. Somebody in his
Oh,
cloister.
yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't specific, but it's, I mean, it's pretty clear, I would think, who he was talking about.
I'm gonna have to change my narrative then because,
Yeah, so.
as far as I was aware,
I mean, maybe you didn't
Yeah,
realize
maybe you
as
didn't
a
pick it
character.
up. That's
Yeah,
okay
I mean,
too.
that's fine.
So she starts kicking the wall to
No.
help break us out. That is not shocking.
Yep.
She starts kicking the wall to help break everybody out, while Brayden is actually, being effective about it and digging.
I
us
don't know.
out.
It took me an hour to do it with a
Okay.
-2 strength
Well, there
was
was
and
a
never
lot.
having used a shovel ever.
There's a lot of snow.
Yes.
I never had to do it. It was
Exactly.
gone by the time I ever went outside.
Exactly.
People would always, just shove
Do it
away
for
and
him.
Do it for me.
Meanwhile, Mal and Killian conspire and knock Simi out. Akira is too angry to be aware of the surroundings and misses the chance to carry her unconscious ass. It's good that she's out because they pass a dead body of a baby owl bear, you monster.
No,
I didn't kill it.
We are the monsters.
I didn't kill it. You
I
guys
gestured.
did.
I gestured to the both of us because we're the ones that did it.
I know you're God in this world, don't you lie.
Life will find a way.
You're a terrible person.
Nature doesn't care.
Yep.
Nature eats babies.
Not you, baby. We won't let anybody eat you.
Bad Keith.
I read that somewhere and I don't remember where.
Where were you reading the quote? Eating nature takes babies.
I don't know.
Eats babies is a little bit more
I don't
graphic.
know.
Earth
So
swallows them
we
whole.
pass that. At a certain point, I wake up. Mal drops me on my backside and starts an avalanche with my butt.
There's a joke there, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Nice filler episode.
Killian has the brilliant idea of, what was it that he levitated? I forget what.
Just
He had
a
a
bar,
metal
metal
bar with him.
He had a metal bar that he levitated and that we held on to try and get above the avalanche. You almost fell, and I think I managed to swing you back on, doing...
Well, Mal pulled her off because he was trying to make sure that Cabbage stayed on, but in doing so, he had one hand on the bar and slipped, and pulled you off. Simi saved you.
Yeah, we were all tied
Thanks.
together, so I kind of flung you back over the top of the thing. We ended up okay from all of that shenaniganery. You just flew because you cheat.
flew. I didn't. I used the gifts given to me.
Sure. Freaking
Didn't you create your character?
privilege.
Well, as in, no, I mean, yes, I did
Lying
create my character, but the gifts given to me by birth or however it goes.
Yeah.
However you want to
Sure.
say it.
Sure. So he flies. We come back down after that, meander our way trying to find some shelter for the night. We come upon it's like kind of a just cabin,
Foundation.
Just basically it's the foundation for a cabin.
right? And discovered that they had like a root celery kind of a thing going on. So we go down into that and discover that there is a space past that we then discover has a whole lot of phase spiders hanging out in it. And between us, we managed to kill them all. Simi's especially gross after that because she caved several skulls in. I guess
Carapaces.
skull, yeah. I guess
Heads.
Heads.
Faces.
As is apparently becoming her MO slowly.
I actually found out that spiders, their leg systems work on hydraulics.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
It goes down about, like, what'd you say, like 1.5 miles, 2 miles?
Half a mile.
Yeah, I mean a good long ways.
And then becomes too small for anything other than like insect life to manage to wiggle through.
The tunnel had collapsed.
Yeah, there's an actual collapse down there. So it may go farther, but
But it was a natural structure.
but there's a collapse, yeah, and it
then
was
I
natural.
think we just came back and called it a night and started our watches. I don't think we
We didn't start out just, but
Did we
we had
not?
gotten
Okay.
back to like the
We went
one
back to
room
the
with
root
the forge.
cellar to hang out for the night and hope that phase spiders did not sneaky in.
So we're starting in a root cellar at nighttime.
Yes.
Yes.
Cabbages in a root cellar.
By the way, is one of your siblings celery? Cap.
Broccoli, celery, gotta be family.
Hi, Poser!
Hey, Poser. Yeah, we're just getting started.
Yep, we're a little late, so you're
We're
good.
running a little behind, so you're fine. Yeah. Too bad Alma's not around to write that song.
I mean, who knows?
Cabbage could do it. Cabbage could totally do that. She
Cabbage
could.
written songs.
Yeah, she could write the heck out of that
Sea
song.
shanties.
Cabbage wrote a sea shanty the other
Yep.
day.
I love this. I love this about Cabbage. She goes about like writing sea shanties and being cabbagey.
Just wait till you hear it.
I love it already. I don't need to know very much else other than she wrote it to know that I will love it.
All right. Well, thank you, Poser.
Thank you, Poser! Something for the cause!
Ooh. All right. So you guys have sort of come back up from underground. Cabbage, you and Mizuki and Akarai were sort of... You guys stayed put to sort of set up camp and make sure everything was all situated, get the fire started.
And now, for story purposes, we have removed Killian from the 4-man party, and we have put Cabbage into the 4-man party. This is some weird video game we're playing.
Killian is off in the corner, not so much
Fiddling
brooding. He's doing some
stuff?
he's doing some sketches and putting down like formulas and stuff on in a notebook that he carries.
Trying to dial into gods.
Trying to figure out what's going on with it looks like he's also sketching out like the anatomy of spiders.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And
He almost got a
yeah, and
core
putting
one of the spiders
notes
that can make him.
putting notes on him about how these things might possibly be able to phase in and out of reality. So that's what he's doing right now. And he'll be brooding most of the rest of the night.
Oh, did you get filled in on the thing from the time before, the weird vision?
But she probably doesn't remember.
We saw that Akarai shifted the blame for
Not Akarai. Akarai's stepfather.
Master Akarai.
Yeah.
Master Ross.
Master Ross. Two NPCs, right?
Yeah.
That Master Ross was on trial for accidentally killing a non-magic user, and basically shifted the blame to Simi instead.
That was coincidentally Kel, Alma's adopted father's wife.
His first wife.
Of course, that part.
Conniving man.
Yes, but that part we don't. That part we don't know about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and yeah. That
we don't
that
know
is-
that it was Kel's wife.
Yeah, that much is still sort of not
pull that
known.
out?
I told players after the
Pull
fact.
that out.
Hey, Spence!
Hi,
Oh.
Spencer.
Hey,
Woohoo!
you.
Hi, Spencer.
Hello.
Almost.
Okay, you can
Almost.
Yeah.
So
I can
is
do this.
Is this like Whippy Boy situation? Like somebody gave the blame, or he's just blaming?
No,
the
there has not been talks
there
about what that
is
is.
yeah. So it hasn't been discussed, but it
It's
essentially
kind of been a topic no one wants to discuss.
so
Yeah, it's
because
the elephant
because
in
you
the
were
room.
there. I'll give you sort of the quick and dirty version of it.
Ooh.
Ross got called in on the carpet. He was the driving force behind this woman being killed as a witch, as a magic user,
Okay.
and then evidence came to light that she was in fact not. He did not deny that, but he asked for use of what is. He asked for his blame to pass to someone else, and the nobles, who were at least 3 nobles in the group that were there watching the proceedings, stood forward to say, yes, this is the thing to do. And then he proceeded to describe, but not name, someone who was obviously seen, who would bear his
Right.
blame and so that he could remain a noble essentially and not be punished himself.
Okay, well,
Ooh, that's a
retroactively,
great
Cabbage
quote.
is very angry about this.
Okay, yeah, I figured. Pretty much everyone else.
By the way, Poser, I love that quote. What doesn't kill you fuels your barbarian rage. I love that quote.
I do like that. I missed that one. Like my smile.
So now Milo has more information about that because he grew up with it, but I don't think it's been discussed.
It has not been discussed because
So I'm not going to go any deeper than what you saw in the actual vision.
Fair. Okay.
All right. So as you guys are coming back, those of you that went down the tunnel, what are you guys doing?
once we get back, just make some
Cleaning
food, clean up the area a little bit to make it livable for the night.
Okay.
And I assume ourselves.
Oh
Since-
yeah, because we're
Since
What's
you
gross.
guys were covered in
The forge,
blood
is
and
it made of
poison.
like metal?
Phase spider goop.
So it's not made out of metal. It's built out of stone. So it's like a stone. It's not really an oven, but because it's open on top, but it's a stone cylinder that's got sort of a fairly shallow top to it that you can put charcoal into to heat up the
I
metal.
suppose we can put fire in that then.
Yeah, and I brought wood down.
I was
carving it.
just wondering if it was metal, that way it could be a little bit warmer. Because metal furnaces are warmer than stone metals. Than stone fireplaces.
Yes, but you wouldn't want metal for a forge. Think about that.
Fair. I'll give you that one.
That there's
Might
yeah,
need to
yeah.
rewrite something for my campaign.
Oops.
Just think about that for a second. You are heating metal to the point of melting. So,
Unless it's a fantasy forge, in which case it could be made of mithril that just has such a high melting point that
Right.
you're not going to
Yeah,
hit it
yeah.
when you're working normal
Sure.
metal.
Whatever.
I mean, if you're working
Yeah, I
expensive
assume mithril has a higher
You know, I don't
turning
know.
point.
I don't know.
things to think about.
Things to think about.
These are things
Someone
that
does
I think
have
it
to
look at at
depends.
some point.
I think it depends on the world and how the DM interprets mithril. So,
So now Keith is
I'm gonna
going
go
back
ahead
to
and
think
second
about how
wind
he
myself.
interprets
okay.
mithril.
5 plus 6.
Hello, wifey.
Hey, Griffey.
How you doing?
Okay. So in the process of pulling stuff out of your pack,
Of course, someone
Simi,
made it.
Simi, I'm going to have you roll a perception check.
Which one of you?
Oh, jeez.
Yellow.
You.
Oh.
Going down a rabbit hole.
I made a wise choice. So that is
No, you didn't.
right. Well, it was like a.
Wise choice.
It's a 24.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why?
So what was the sleight of hand that you rolled for me?
Oh, I don't remember. It wasn't that high. It was like 17 or something.
Okay. So as you are pulling stuff out of your pack, you grab your journal and set it aside and start pulling out fresh clothes. And when you look over, there's actually a sheaf of paper tucked all the way in the back of your journal that has slipped out a little bit.
Huh.
And that is going to be the note from Alma.
Oh, you.
And it has
Alma
a story on it.
Yep.
And
I was going to say that, but I'm trying to be a
something
little
else?
bit better on my.
there's something else you told me
Was there...
There's also some of his designs.
Right.
For the things that he was making for you.
for weapons, and then a dress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, was there anything special about the dress? I don't know that.
No,
you
it was just something that he had worked on because his dad had done ball gowns before that he had exported.
Gotcha.
I just
So
thought
he
it was
was
cool
just doing
design
like
for
a ball
a dress.
Gotcha.
If you want the
know
story,
what
it's right here.
fan-
Tell me later.
Just shoot. Yeah, I've got that. Never mind. I saw my name at the top. I was like, oh wait, I have that. So she's gonna kind of sit there with it in the corner, and her eyes are gonna start sort of welling up with tears a little bit. So she's gonna take her her journal and pretend that she's just going up out of the root cellar thing to write in her journal. And quietly try to talk to Alma to see if he is listening. Because she doesn't know how this thing works. If
Okay.
Adrian can be alive in some kind of an afterlifey place and not know that he's dead, maybe Alma is somewhere close by
Don't
enough to
remind
hear.
me.
Do I get an Alma?
No.
Your call is very important to us.
Ah, dang it! So many busy signals.
You get you.
We're
enter-
sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please try the number. Please check the number and try again.
This is Alma. As soon as
We're sorry.
it immediately goes to voicemail, and then it goes
We're sorry. The number cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the area code and try again.
area code. What's
Yeah.
the area code of heaven?
Yeah, it's a rickroll. That sounds like Alma.
Yeah.
That sounds like Alma. So
No.
she's up top, like kind of talking to herself, but trying to talk to Alma. Not sure if he actually put this in her pack before he died, or if Ghost Alma got weird and has a
Ghost Alma got
terrible.
weird.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a thing Ghost Alma would do, is get weird.
Get jiggy with
it. She's kind of like kicking at the snow and is like, I feel like I know that you can hear me and you're just not responding.
Oh
I
my.
feel like I know that you are this close to me right now. Like, there's no way I've
feel so
unpacked and
close to
repacked
you
this
right
bag
now.
52 times since, and this can't. She kind of gets frustrated and sits in the snow. And now wants drinks again.
That's fair.
Oh.
Oh, that gets complicated.
Yes, it does.
I
I'm
think
gonna
it
see.
automatically fails, according to the spell, but I'll leave that up to the DM.
She hasn't quite thought about that yet.
Okay.
Maybe in
Actually-
the future. So yeah, she's hanging out up top now with her butt in the snow,
Or has a chance to fail?
and probably still
It
covered in
depends-
face spider goop.
It depends on
She has not cleaned up yet.
Is
how
it quack?
Keith has deemed how the afterlife works. If it's a
It's a
different plane of
Yeah, 'cause
existence.
that's the.
Because if it is technically a different plane of existence, then sending does have a chance to work.
Oh, so she hasn't thought of it yet, but she might later.
But I'm gonna read up on this because I think it has to be a person who's alive.
Well, it depends on how the afterlife works in this situation. Maybe he is.
Anyway,
So, question: does face spider guts, blood, goop coagulate in the cold?
A lot of hot topics today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, come for the D&D, stay for the fake kids.
We need to stop going down this road because last time we went down this road, we found out mayonnaise is flammable.
You're welcome.
so yes, yes, it
You're
does.
welcome. So
Nice.
now I have like chunks of.
Probably easier to get off.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it would be easier for Killian to study too. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I would think about that really. I probably wouldn't. But I now have coagulated guts and blood and gore on me. Like you do. Okay. Yeah, so that's me. Next.
Correct, Griffin. Correct, Kyrie.
Possibly higher depending on how the plane of existence that he might be on is ruled.
It depends on how Keith's version works. So
I'll have to do some research and make some rulings.
yeah.
She won't figure it out to ask this session. That way you have time to think about it.
Yeah, that's a
Thank you.
That's a very complicated
Yes.
answer because there's also speak with dead.
Right.
So it's a very complicated.
Yeah, I'll have to
Balancing.
weigh how that works.
Yeah.
So,
That's sort of the issue with a lot of rulings as a DM, because like, you rule it one way in this situation, but it can have other consequences.
so who else is doing what?
I'll do some cooking
Okay.
to make everyone a meal with whatever Mizuki has left in her whatever she made this morning.
You
Your
know, I
husband
don't know.
brought it.
What did she make this morning?
I think it was. If you show me the list, I can absolutely tell you what it was, but I cannot remember. It was like a.
Well, that was yesterday. I don't think I did it for today.
Oh no, she hasn't done one today. Yeah, she would.
She would have, and I
She would
don't
have.
think I did it.
Because Kyria wasn't here, we just assumed that it did
Right.
happen. Because I think the last one she made was like a. Something. I can't remember. Look, as the historian, I remember most things.
So
I just
roll a
can't.
d20 for me.
14.
Dried mushroom jerky. It is unexpectedly spicy.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I would try that.
Bro, what?
I'm like, ooh, that
It is
sounds
45.
good.
It is 45 pounds of
Oh,
dried
no.
mushroom spicy jerky.
Why is it spicy?
That's so much mushroom.
Yeah, there's
jerky.
a lot of mushroom jerky, but also that sounds delicious
It
as
really
well.
does.
The concept of mushroom jerky is an interesting
Yeah,
concept.
it is an interesting one, and I wouldn't have thought of it.
Soak it in broth of some sort for a while, and then
You like marinate it and then dry it with the
Yeah.
marination in it.
Yeah, something like that. So
put a curried
it does
mustard
last
sauce or
24
something.
hours. So
Eat up.
Eat up.
This is a lot like food at home, actually. Mushrooms are a big staple.
Yeah. Is
Hi.
your home, the mountains very cold place?
Outside, yes. Inside the mountain, not as much.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you guys lived on the mountain. I assumed it was like on the side, like on the actual.
Like on the side and into the mountain and down.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's much easier to keep warm the further down you go.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Costas is built as well. Some of it is built on kind of like a small hill that used to be there. Kind of built on top of. I'm thinking Costas a lot like Edinburgh Castle.
yeah,
Yeah. Which is like built on top of a hill, and then the city is built as the hill like kind of goes down. And and the cool history of Edinburgh was a castle as well, but
and then on the back side of the palace is the the sheer drop and down to the sea.
Yeah.
So yeah,
oh, I just thought of something. But it's not relevant to the.
It was a thing. It was
I was just imagining like a back garden there on the side of the cliff, and like this is Sparta moment just kicking someone off of the cliffside.
that's not an uncommon occurrence, actually.
I'm sure a couple of nobles have gone out that way.
Oh yeah.
So.
All right, so go ahead and so you're going to be using some of the mushroom jerky in whatever it is that you're making. Go ahead and make that roll. I forget what I have you roll.
You keep saying performance, so.
Okay, go for it.
Ooh. That's going to be a 23.
You take this and you transform it into a fabulous. It's almost a.
I imagine
It's almost like a hot and sour soup.
Yeah, I imagine just like to counteract the spiciness, like bone broth. Just put the jerky in the bone broth so it like soaks up the bone broth as well, and then just like some.
And then the spice sort of seeps out of it into the broth, and so you wind up with something very much akin,
and rice.
very much akin to a hot and sour soup.
That sounds really good.
Sounds
Now
really
I want
good.
hot and sour soup.
So Cabbage is gonna she's taking a bite of the jerky and she hates it. She almost gagged. I'm really hesitant about the soup.
Milo?
Yeah. It's a lot better.
If you made this stuff palatable, I might just hug you.
Ooh.
I wait in open arms for a hug as she tries some.
Come here.
I give her a hug.
Aww.
That's not terrible.
Yeah.
You'll notice that none of my siblings are named Mushroom because we don't eat fungus.
You also don't grow them.
That's because they're disgusting.
Actually,
Those are.
like red, like these are the cedratins like around like
This is
redwood
going to be
trees,
one of
right?
those addictive things. Isn't it?
Surely there would be like some mushrooms at some.
Oh yeah,
place.
mushrooms are around all over the place. They're just not cultivated.
Yeah, you go mushroom hunting, like in Russia. It is literally a class that they take in school that teaches them which mushrooms are poisonous and which ones are not. And they will go gribi hunting on a regular basis as like an outing with their families and stuff. And
That's
they'll go
actually
mushroom
kind of
hunting.
cool.
Yeah.
truffle hunting pigs.
But kids.
But
Yeah.
kids, exactly.
Truffle hunting kids. Every young Russian boy should know how to find truffle under
Yes,
tree.
there are snacks.
Always.
There are snacks
There
on the
is
table
just
for
white
sure.
cheddar Cheetos, and I am slowly eating fries out of a bag.
And Chipper's not here to
And
appreciate it.
Nope, she is not here to appreciate it. All right, Mal, you got anything particular going on?
He's just playing with his alcohol,
Like you do.
Like you do.
experimenting.
Okay.
Being a mad scientist in the corner. Spicy mushroom alcohol.
Nope. Nope.
That does sound really gross.
Or like a spiced mead.
Ugh.
Spiced meat would be fine, but not with mushrooms.
Yeah, no.
No.
Actually, I saw someone has been
Okay.
trying to make like mushroom wine, but I don't know how well
That
that has
sounds
gone.
like a
Ugh.
terrible idea.
No,
Not that I've had
no,
wine either, I guess.
just no.
I feel like those wouldn't like
All right,
No,
so
no, I don't think so.
watches are set.
Mhm.
Night passes uneventfully. See me, you don't get anything from wherever, so eventually you pull yourself back down into the cellar.
It takes me a while.
You
I've
get stuck in
howled
like
for a
that.
hot
You
minute.
could get stuck in like that caller consumer loop where it's
Yeah.
just like playing really like crappy music at like full blast.
Like Kenny G, but terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then if someone ever
Are those
answers,
different?
it's like super like hello because you've like turned down the volume because it's just like blasting music and you're just like hello, can you hear me?
Too real.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys you come back down. You guys set your watches, spend the night,
She has
And-
obviously been crying. She's going to kind of keep to herself a little bit.
and so the night passes. The next day dawns.
dawn next day.
Not that you guys can see it from where you are because you are underground. But you kind of get a sense of the passage of time, and morning comes for you guys.
Yeah. I guess it's time to head out for another day then.
All right. And he also, whenever he took watch, will have spent time polishing the tools that he found.
Okay. It's going to take more than just a single night's worth of work to get them back into a sort of a usable shape. The ones that were sort of rusted shut are going to take a little bit of work, and even the ones that wouldn't require that kind of
Hammers and stuff.
yeah, the hammers and stuff, they still have the patina of time on them, and it's gonna take a little bit to knock that off. So you guys gather all your things, and climb out of your basement hole, and start down the road.
Yep, I hear the moving right along theme thing from the Muppets going on in my head. Yep.
Mal's gonna continue his sort of search off the road.
And you were looking for what?
Like anything dwarven that he might come across, and he's also restocking the wood for the campfire for the next night.
Okay. All right.
Seeing him doing that will probably like kind of pick up some campfire wood as well. Yeah.
I see he's going out of sight, within hearing distance, but out of sight
Gotcha.
off the road while he's looking for stuff.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So the woodland here is fairly sparse, and you guys are sort of in the foothills. So off to your south and southwest, there are mountains. One of the divisions of the major valley. So the valley is sort of built up with four sort of fingers, I guess, that run back up into the mountains, and you guys are sort of on you're on the foothills of one of those divides between the valleys. But because of that, the road does have a little bit more height, a little bit more elevation to it. So the trees are sparse. You can look out across the plains off to your north a little bit. The river's in the foreground there. You can see out across it, and then it turns to basically what would be in summertime. It would be grassland, but it's basically just a plain of snow, especially with the blizzard that blew through just a couple of days ago. Because you're kind of out there a little bit closer and away from the rest, Mal, give me a perception check.
Ooh, yay! I love perception.
Don't you have like a -2?
Yep, that's a 10.
amazing.
That is a 10. Nope. That's a no. Sorry.
That's fine.
Okay.
Are other people looking at things, or is he far enough off from us?
He's far enough off that he would be he'd probably be the only one to really look that way. For the rest of you, the trees are kind of in the way.
Yeah.
He's a little bit further in and further on, so he can kind of see through them a little bit better than you guys can.
Yep.
So you guys do continue marching for most of the day. About lunchtime. Yeah. So about lunchtime, the road sort of drifts down into a very broad, sort of shallow depression.
Just
And
like Simi.
and it actually it looks like whatever this is sort of gets deeper,
Deep depression.
and narrower as the road goes along. The river sort of runs through it on one side, so it's actually fairly broad. But it's sort of a notable feature. It's a little odd. It's a little out of place. The rock layers, for you, the rock layers don't really seem to match with this being just something that's been eroded by the river over time.
Gotcha. So it's something more
Yeah,
catastrophic in nature.
Right.
Quicker than.
Right. Just shy of noon, just shy of midday, you're still sort of off looking for your thing, and you come across a bit of a clearing in the woods. It's not a big one, not a whole lot to it, but there are about a dozen statues of dwarves in various poses.
How detailed.
Make me an investigation check.
No. 15. Oh wait, investigation. Sorry, that's not a -2, so
You piqued
17.
my interest.
What's that?
17.
17? They're pretty detailed.
Mal, however, probably doesn't have any experience that player Steven does. So he'll just whistle for the party.
Okay.
I will come over.
Does it seem like a hurry up I'm dying sort of whistle, or just casual?
No, he's just the same way he did to tell you guys about the campsite last time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we'll walk on over.
Okay.
Why would you put statues here?
Well, I mean, this is along an ancient major road, so it's likely that there wasn't forest here originally.
What are the statues doing?
So
Screaming.
I was about to say.
so there are a couple of them that are laid out on very, very elaborately carved bedrolls. There's a couple that are squatting down around a circle of stones that have been placed there. Looks like maybe a campfire kind of deal. There's 3 of them that are looking up to the sky and pointing.
Hey, you guys, did you ever, when you were kids, hear the story about the monsters that turned to stone when the sun came up?
The trolls.
Ogres?
Trolls?
You have heard it.
These are dwarves.
Are they? Or do they just look like it? Because
Are you saying they're
Can I
changelings?
can me and Inger make a perception check to see if this is like, besides like some of the tracks I see of us, does it look like anything else?
Make
Is-
your perception check. Sure.
Rooster, snake, chicken things.
So, with an unnatural 20.
Okay.
22 for Inger and a 14 for Milo.
Okay.
It's also not.
And an unnatural
Okay.
20.
intelligent.
An unnatural 20 investigation. Can I tell that this is a camping circle?
That would have been mine.
Okay.
Like this is a campsite where everybody got stoned.
Okay. So in order of I'm gonna
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
yeah.
so,
Yeah.
Sorry, I
In order from lowest to biggest.
jumped ahead.
so for Milo,
Mhm.
you're looking specifically for
Is there anything that, like, besides
Animal
like
tracks
the act,
or-
that, like animal tracks or any kind of traffic that isn't like what we have done?
no, there's actually not.
Okay.
For Ingir, and Ingir got what?
A 22.
22. Same. How is he doing his search? What is he looking for?
I suppose he's just looking to see if there's just anything around us and if there's like tracks as well, and just kind of looking around everywhere, just kind of flying.
Okay. So he's not finding anything track-wise close by, but we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna stick a pin in that.
Okay.
And you were investigating to see if it was actually a
This looks like a ring campsite in my
Campsite.
brain that the whole group has just been turned into stone.
Okay.
In Danny's brain.
That would seem to track, yes. There is also, no, I will also let you know that whenever this happened, it must have been a very long time ago, because there is actually moss growing on these statues.
Oh, good.
Cabbage is gonna look up to the sky.
And immediately turn to stone.
This is definitely not. These aren't statues,
Yeah.
and they're not trolls that are going to turn into something else in the middle of the night.
Do they even turn back after the night, or is once they get turned to stone, that's it?
The stories that she was talking about, like they are solid by day, not so by night.
Okay.
However, that is not the case with these. This is not what this is. These have been turned by something into what we see, and they have been here for a long time.
Okay.
I think we
Okay.
need to leave.
Sounds like a good idea.
Alright.
I'm gonna go over and poke one of the statues.
It's a stone statue.
Okay.
Is there anything to indicate that there was non-stone things around? Any, like, what metal workings would there be in a campsite? Tent poles, metalworking tools,
Swords.
travel gear.
Make me an investigation check.
That's better than perception by a lot. That is an 18.
18. You kind of start digging around under
Loam.
under leaves, under the dirt, and you start to
Under
come
the
across
snow.
things like tent poles. There are there's a pile of horseshoes and horseshoe nails. There's the head of a blacksmith's hammer, but the haft is gone.
Probably wooden and rotted away. Okay.
Yeah, so what you're finding is old. Very, very old.
He'll just sort of throw stuff in his bag. It's all history.
That's fair. So, has anybody heard stories about what can turn an entire campsite of dwarves into stone? Quickly
What kind
enough
of
to
role
freeze
would
them?
that be, Keith?
Would that be like history for stories you've heard?
History for stories,
Why don't they
possibly nature, possibly arcana,
Oh, my history.
whatever you
I'll do a history.
kind of.
23.
23, okay.
It's almost the highest I can roll.
And that was a history,
That was a history.
okay.
A 17 for me.
And what were you?
Cabbage would have gone off history. Ironically, all three of those are the same score for me.
Yeah.
But
Okay. All right.
history, because she went with stories for her, because she.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it started off that way. I think it rolled, but no.
No.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I actually rolled higher than that, but when I looked at it, it changed to a 3, and I don't know what it was. So
Okay. Fair enough.
it's apparently a 3 now.
Mal, were you checking? No. Okay.
No. Mal's lived in sort of isolation his entire life, so.
Okay.
I don't know where my actual...
But you do have advantage
Oh my
on
goodness.
stone knowledge.
It vanished.
I mean,
So for Cabbage and for Milo,
Okay.
you both have heard different types of stories about creatures turning to stone and being turned to stone. So sort of depends on sort of what the circumstances were. There are humanoid creatures whose gaze can turn people to stone. There are also sort of lizardy type things that have been known to turn people to stone. There are trolls get turned to stone by sunlight, or can be. Certain varieties of them can be. Yeah, so there's actually quite a few different stories.
Well, I've heard lots of stories about things that can turn you to stone and things that have been turned to stone. And this looked like it probably happened a long time ago, but I don't really want to stick around.
That's
Fair.
reasonable. I am okay not sticking around where we might
Which
suddenly
one of those
turn
would be
into stone.
flying? Nothing I've heard of?
Nothing you've heard of that's flying
Yeah.
would have turned people to stone.
Interesting. Okay. Huh?
cockatrice, flying squirrel.
Don't even bring up that.
Hey Griff, you don't have any spells that can like unstatue a person, do you? I don't imagine you do, but
Greater Restoration would do it.
I don't think
One,
so.
we're not high enough level to do it,
Yeah.
and two, we don't have diamond dust. 100 gold pieces worth of diamond dust to even cast the spell.
3, do we care?
Not at the moment.
Well,
We've
and
got more important.
If we
we'd
had
be
the
bringing back
ability to
people
deal-
outside of their time. Like,
yeah.
Let them rest in peace.
says,
I mean, Simi would do the thing if she had the ability to do the thing because she's deeply curious.
Yeah.
But player Danny understands that might be a terrible idea.
Yeah, Griff, Meldon Distode wouldn't
bring them back.
bring them
Yeah.
back. The only thing that can bring them back is Greater Restoration, which is a 5th level spell and costs 100 gold pieces worth of diamond dust, and a wish spell would probably be the only things that could do it. So.
Resurrection might. Because we have
What?
the body. Anyway,
Before we get into philosophical,
so we're leaving.
yeah.
Yeah, if there doesn't look like there's anything else here to.
Keeping very close watch around us.
Yes.
And at this point, Mal is no longer going to separate from the party.
Okay.
That's probably
About that
smart.
pin.
About that pin, yes, we're coming back to that. So, as part of his patrol, Ingir sort of flies up above the trees and starts sort of gazing about around the horizon. And off to the north, there is a large body of creatures moving along.
What color?
Most of them are red.
Are we talking like by the like from what I can see like on the map? Are they like by the river? Like on the map, if I'm seeing, are they like by the river?
From what you're seeing, it looks like they're probably out there.
Okay.
I missed that because you. Okay,
Right up there.
cool.
So just like
You okay?
southeast
Okay.
of the lake.
It sounded like she ran into something for a sec.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gear was just patrolling, and it looks like there's a large body of kobolds directly north of us.
Wait, are these the same kobolds? Do
No.
you think that we dealt with at
They're
the clash
all-
of 3 armies?
Probably, because most of them are red.
So likely your Prince Lars is there, and whoever it was that was wielding the power of flame.
Ooh.
Assuming probably if they're sticking with the kobolds, because as far as Ingir could tell, he didn't see human forces.
It was hard to make out individuals. The
Right.
only reason he saw them is because they were en masse
And red.
Yeah,
and red against
Okay,
white.
that's fine.
So do we want to postpone this for just a minute and make an assassination attempt?
Ooh.
I mean, personally, I'm not opposed to that.
Because if we can take out both Prince Lars and this other wielder of destruction dude, wouldn't that put us ahead of the game?
We already know that he's been murdering wives and probably is responsible for a
I
lot
wasn't
of
even
other-
talking about that necessarily, but
Yeah,
we're talking
no.
about the destruction of the world potentially. Hey!
Well, I don't know what his plan is. I don't know
But like, what do you guys think about an assassination attempt here?
I
I mean, it's possible. The problem is he would be surrounded by an entire army of kobolds.
That's why it's an assassination attempt, not a full-scale attack.
Well, and also we don't know if he is there. So,
We don't, but we could find out.
Are you actually trying to stop that, Griff? Because I kind of feel like the reunion's not going to be great.
Also, I feel that's sarcasm, but
I
that's
do.
fine.
Yep. I mean, you can be the chief.
As much as it would be,
executioner. Seeing as yours would be the head on the chopping block, I feel like it's kind
as
of
much
fair
as
for you to
it would
get
be
the-
nice to slow down one of the 4. I don't know if we're strong enough to take on an entire army of kobolds.
No, absolutely
Him
not.
and-
No, we're not.
Lars.
Good.
I'm talking going
Attempt
in
that.
and slitting their throat while they're asleep.
I'm actually with Milo on this one. I don't think that we have the force to even get in there. And if we got
Don't
caught,
you
we're all
have
gonna
like
die.
an invisibility something or another?
Yeah. I don't have a good feeling about this.
You can turn invisible.
I can.
Your dragon can turn invisible.
I can actually turn 2 people invisible.
I,
But the problem is it's a risk.
I mean, everything's a risk. Like, we
Right,
risk not
but-
making it there
I
in
was
time
hoping
to stop them.
I was hoping to set up an ambush down in the city,
But the thing is, we know
because
where we're
then at
going.
least we have, if we can get there before them, we can scope out a place that we could ambush.
Except then we don't have the choice of like picking out specific people. We know where they are now. We won't know where they are then. And my concern is that if they get there before us, which is not really likely, but if they get there before us, or if there's some reason that we can't move this thing, we can't fight an army. But if we stop them here and now and they're then directionless, we stand a chance. Now the other option from Killian is that we could potentially activate the defenses there. But that's a risk. Who knows if those are going to work? I suspect they will.
But also, we don't know if Lars is there.
Yeah, that's
With the group, no. But again, you have a dragon that can turn invisible and go check.
I am okay with that. I think that that's a good
I
idea.
think that an assassination attempt should be something that we consider, like, quickly. Or, whatever turned all of these guys to stone, just, like,
I think
push it
maybe-
into his tent.
I don't think it's whatever it was is still around. I think it was just perhaps a roaming monster or individual that just happened across these people
I mean,
as they were escaping the
we could look into it, though.
Empire.
What I'm saying is that I think that we need to consider trying to take them out before they have a chance to get closer.
How
I'm
about
down with Flyboy going in and checking it out.
yeah? How about we get to the river first and see what we see from there? That way we have the river and these trees we can fall back from, and then it's at least close enough that maybe I can.
You don't have to send in.
What do you mean?
Mizu is willing to cast clairvoyance to find them.
That's true because it does have a mile range. So if we can get within a mile, we can at least.
Right, but we're not like we know they're kobolds. We're trying to see if Lars is with them.
Yeah.
That's what I just typed into ask.
And clairvoyance would be a lot more efficient than Ingir flying about.
Well, I was thinking that we could keep walking and send Ingir or one of your flying bird things to go find out if Lars is there. I'm not saying that we stop moving. That's not... the reality is we're probably headed in the same general direction as this army is moving anyway. They may not be headed for the same entrance we are.
Are the traps already activated?
I doubt it.
But I thought they they're already activated, and the reason why we needed that staff rod was to deactivate them as we go down.
I don't think so. I think that they're probably turned off because what ended the Dwarven Kingdom, the Dwarven Empire, was a cataclysmic event. They wouldn't have been on day-to-day workings because then, travel and trade couldn't happen. I think that they would probably need to be turned on. We would need to be there to turn them on.
Yeah.
Now, it is possible they are already turned on. I just don't think it's likely.
Yeah, we're still going to use
Yeah,
Carrie. We're still probably going to use clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance
We're just
still
talking
works.
about what we will do if we find out that information.
So,
The other point is that you guys are not within a mile of the army.
Right, we're-
you're
Oh,
a
are
good
we
ways
not?
off.
No,
Yeah, you're a good
we're
ways
a ways
off.
off. That's why we're saying if we move to like right here, we can.
except that's not where we're headed, right? We're headed
we
more directly
actually-
towards the mountain.
No, so here's the bigger view of the map. So we're about right here, and so it's like another
Oh, so we
day
are
or two.
potentially headed towards the same
Yeah,
spot,
so if we
but on
keep
the other side of
following
the
this
river.
road, it should lead us kind of like closer to the peninsula. The problem is the army is somewhere right here. So we would have to, if the army is heading in this direction, we would have to go through them. There we go. So yeah, so we're right there.
Mhm.
The army is somewhere around there, which means they're heading towards the lake.
So we on foot are going to be moving faster than an army is.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
pretty simple, especially if they're not like the ones who can move earth and things.
I assume these are the fire, so since they're red, they're the fire ones. So.
Right, and they apparently did not get along with the other ones anyway.
Well, destruction, fight destruction.
What if to speed things up we try to take the river? We're already faster than they are, but what if we move along the river specifically? Can Mizu, would you be able to whip us all up some ice skates?
Huh.
Or a sled that we could use? We'd be able to go along the river a lot faster.
What would be sitting ducks? You can't really hide on.
What
The
technique?
reality
Well,
is-
actually, you not on top. We could go under.
I don't like that idea.
What?
I can make us
Didn't
all
she
breathe
almost
under.
die like that?
Well, there's also the
I
temperature
was-
to think about.
Well, that's not a problem for me,
For
but
you.
Right. But we're moving as a group,
I
right?
no, I understand. I'm just
No, that's an
giving
idea.
out options.
Yeah. I think if we could move along the river, we could maybe even consider moving just at night, so that we're not visible. Because the reality is this road, if we look at our map, is going to come out of the woods to where we're going to be
I'll move it
exposed
so
to
you
them
guys can
anyway
see.
if we stay along the road.
Yeah.
We could move a lot faster if we move on the river.
We're really exposed like that, though.
But we're going to be really exposed if we stay on the road
That
too.
is true.
well, how well
But we're
even if
also-
we're on the river, true, it might be a little bit faster. But the problem we see there is like with some of the river boats, they have like wind propelled
Mhm.
things, or I assume they have like long like harpoon things that they kind of like push it along sometimes.
Not often. Typically, they're waiting on. Typically they're using the wind.
Yeah.
When the wind is not blowing especially hard, they'll just pull off to the side.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that would be an issue necessarily because we just let them pass. It's a big ship. We'll be able to see them. We'll just move off. Or, I mean, heaven forbid, if it is a small enough crew, we could maybe even pay them or request that they help us travel even faster. What I'm saying though is I think this speed might be important here for two reasons. Because first, if we can get there and turn on the defenses, we'll be a lot better off. But second, if we're going to try for an assassination attempt, for clairvoyance, we need to be within a mile. We probably should be closer so that you can see through the eyes of your dragon.
Yeah. Do you want to push on into night traveling then?
I don't know. I mean, if we're traveling along the river, night travel becomes a lot easier. If we're moving on the road, night travel isn't so much an option. And if we're waiting, because the road comes out of the trees before too terribly long, so we will be exposed there one way or the other. But if we're moving faster, I think we stand a better chance.
All right.
That's all logical enough.
Yeah. Well, for now, let's see if we can get across this gap right here, at least.
Won't we be exposed again at that point, though?
We're gonna be exposed either way.
Right. But what I'm saying is we could move north from here to the edge of the trees there, towards the river, and just book it along the river.
Would they not see us going through the river, or?
Well, that's going to be the issue no matter what we do.
Right.
Whether we
I mean,
move...
we're all dressed in white, right? Like, from 15 miles off, or close to 15 miles off.
Yeah,
They
we
honestly might not see us very much, even on a sled.
Yeah.
What time? It's like noonish, right?
Yeah, it's kind of noonish.
How long do we figure it would take to get from where we are now to the river?
That's probably going to take you right up until. Yeah, that's going to take you. If you go straight north, and don't follow the road, you could be there a little before the end of the day,
Okay.
and be able to travel down the river a little bit. If you stick to the road, by the time it comes right up against the river, it'd probably be time to stop for the night.
Okay.
Then
So, I mean...
let's head to the river and then just during the evening make up some ground.
Skates or sled?
I mean, a sled's going to be more weight distributed if there's any weak points in the river, but also it'll be easier to run. I mean, because if we're skating, that's a lot of effort. It was my first idea, but I think a sled would probably make more sense.
Okay.
And maybe we just make camp for the night and set that up. Does that work for everybody?
Like
I'm
right
okay with
now.
that.
No. Like we move towards the river.
Yeah,
So
get
we
like
can start first
a
thing in the morning.
Okay, so
yeah. I'm
Or
hoping-
do we want to travel at night along the river so that we're less visible? In
How
which
far
case-
do we estimate we could? So if we head straight to the river right there, how far do we think we could get during the night? Because my problem is if we go through the night, we might end up like right here. Best case scenario, which is in the direct path the army will take.
Not necessarily, because I doubt they're going to want to cross the river anytime soon. Crossing a river with an army is a nightmare. I imagine, since we're on this side, or, whatever. Oh, wait, it's frozen over river. I take that back. But I figure we can move along wherever we are and just make camp in the woods.
Well, what if we decided to take just like the shortest route from here and then just cut through the woods and then straight to the peninsula?
So
That way we might be seen here, but then at least we get in the trees and
But
in
then
cover
we're
for a couple of
going
days.
off-road travel the whole way, and I think that'll slow us down a lot.
Okay.
Now, I don't know that for sure, because it really depends on what things are in these woods. Stone statues.
Fair.
I don't know. But the road is more traveled, the river is more traveled. I think that those are probably our best bets as far as speed.
Okay.
And the river will be much faster.
All right, then let's do the river then.
Akarai, since you're the only one who hasn't spoken, that's not brooding.
He's still brooding.
It's sort of a tough call, if I may. And he's gonna gesture towards your map.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot, not knowing if the lake itself is frozen over and to what depth, if it is. I mean, I assume it probably is. The question I would have is whether or not that army would risk the lake ice. Because if not, if I was in charge of the army, I would be making west. I'm making for the river to cross the river and join this road that we're on. Which puts us in a bad spot of them catching us on the road or the river, either.
With the river, we'll be faster and hopefully can be ahead of them by the time they make that point. But we could also try to go cross country, but I think that'll slow us down a fair bit. I don't know if we'd be able to keep up with them speed-wise.
The upshot I'm seeing is that just about anything we do, we run the risk of winding up in the middle of that army.
Yeah.
The problem is do we want to just take the fastest way, which is just continue following the road and hope they don't see us, or do we want to?
That's probably the easiest way. I don't know if it's fastest.
Right.
I think the river is probably fastest.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, almost no matter what we do, we run the risk of outliers, scouting parties and things from the army hitting us. But at least one way, it puts us a little bit ahead, and at some point we can hide in the woods as they're getting closer, within a mile or so, and we can do the clairvoyance, and then move on quickly from the river.
Okay. Then let's do the river then.
So we head due north from where we're at now.
Keep to the tree line.
Yeah, and then stay within trees tonight, and then hit the river either first thing in the morning, or we continue on tonight.
But we can always have a short rest before we do that then.
Yeah, certainly. I just mean,
'Cause
if
I think
we
it's
decide
gonna-
we're going to
I
travel
think-
at night.
I think it takes Lady Mizuki like an hour to make things, so.
And I'm thinking we probably need several sleds or one really big one. But
Even if we have one really big sled, I don't think any of us are strong enough to push all of. Well, I suppose you could.
between me and Mizuki, I think we could move us all along.
But we couldn't keep that momentum all night. You wouldn't be able to do
No.
that.
No.
No. We would have to
But if some of this
change
is
out.
a downhill slant, which since we're going downriver, it likely will be. Hopefully, it won't be very difficult either.
And once we get moving, we can build speed. Now that might be something else we want to consider is
Can be
how we're
problematic.
gonna stop.
Yeah.
But-
Well, let's figure out. Let's get to the river first, and then we'll decide on what kind of sled. Okay. Let's go.
All right.
Northward.
So you guys start heading off north towards the river then.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
between you and somebody else, Griff, I bet you, like, you two could handle it decently.
Yeah. I was thinking more of just like what was the Goliath? Killing's
Oh,
Goliath's name again? I can't.
Volk.
I was thinking more of Volk.
I
Like
mean,
when it came to like just like, but
Oh, that would have
Yeah.
been really handy if he was around.
wherever he went.
Could be our reindeer for our
Alright.
sleigh.
We just continue.
actually, strength-wise, he and I are on par, but I have a higher
Really?
con than he does.
How funny. Hippity.
Okay, so you guys turn north, leaving the road behind, keeping in the trees and around the trees, and heading towards the river by the most direct route that you can find. Are you going to leave Ingir up to sort of keep an eye on the army?
Yeah,
or-
I'll let him just continue watching the army.
Okay. All right. So as the day goes, you do get the sense that the army is moving more or less due west. And given that, by the time you guys stop for the night, they've made it just about to that point and are almost exactly due north of you.
All right. So another day, and they will probably cross the river.
Most likely,
I will
yes.
tell that to everyone. So unless we can get there in a day before they get to the river,
Can you show me again where we're headed?
we're headed to the peninsula right here. This is right here at the base of the mountain or something like.
Yeah, so somewhere in this area.
There's the thing, or there is the alternative of the underwater entrance that I was told about.
Again, I think that the temperature would be too much for most of us.
I think.
Unless
Allow me
some of
to
you
like.
spellcastery types.
Allow me to ponder what my patron's ability allows me to do.
All of you guys make me perception checks.
Yay.
Including Inger?
Not in gear. He's keeping an eye on the army.
4.
4. Okay.
Well, actually,
Perception is a close
Yeah.
7.
7.
So 22.
22.
14.
14. Okay.
yeah, it's just breathing.
So the guys don't, but Cabbage and Simi, there are every so often you catch oddities along the path as you're going. So you are off road. Your rate of travel has slowed a little bit because you're in rough territory. But there are. You swear there's statues of animals.
Oh no.
Most all of them have their faces up, looking at the sky. So there's a little fawn with his mother close by. There's squirrels all over the place.
You and baby animals. We're gonna have a talk after this.
Don't.
There's even. It used to be a bear, but it has
Used
used to be a bear. Over time, it has actually weathered and broken in half. And so one half of the bear is a little bit further down the hill.
You also see the
From the
inside where there was an infant. The bear was pregnant.
No.
A Kinder egg.
No.
Oh no! Oh no!
Natalie, you were a Kinder egg for 9 months.
You're a Kinder egg.
Just filled with chocolate.
But yeah, so you guys do notice that as you're traveling.
Guys,
Yeah.
just a heads up, or kind of a nod.
Yeah, I wouldn't look up if you hear anything. There's there's lots of stone animals. All
Right.
looking
They're
up.
all looking up.
That's not good.
No.
I wonder if this is one of those Medusa things where if it's like through a mirror, it's okay.
Are you gonna find out?
No.
Well, the problem, I don't
Possibly.
know. I don't know. I can't think of any
Thank you,
from
Brett.
the stories I've heard of any that can fly if they're looking up
Well,
and.
if they're looking up, it's either something really freaking tall, or it can fly.
Right, but I
Both.
haven't heard of anything that can fly. It might be a good idea to just stealth here from now on. Keep the pace we are going, but just kind of be more sneaky.
Don't think that's how that works.
We can try.
Like if you're stealthing, you can't keep the same speed.
Yeah, no.
So
I'm not sure we can afford to slow down.
Okay.
yeah.
And let's just
The
keep
slower we move, the
vigilance.
more likely I think we get hit by the army.
Okay, well let's.
We are constantly keeping a watch out and listening.
Okay.
With heavy warnings that if you hear something that sounds like it's up, take cover and do not look up.
Hey, Mal, do you have like a flask or something like that? Something reflective, even just glass, as long as I have something dark underneath
Polished
it.
metal.
Yeah,
Steel mirror.
yeah. Just in case I have to look up for something, if there's something that might be attacking us or something like that, I don't want to do it directly.
Can reach into his bag, and it's pretty small. Like think, what are those called? Compacts.
Gotcha.
Compact mirror, but it's a steel, so it's not chromium silver mirror, but
Whatever
it's
mirrors are made of nowadays.
It's enough to at
silver
least,
and chromium.
it's at least enough to
steel
see.
mirror.
Good deal. Now, do you have a flask? just
I have
checking.
an empty one.
Never mind.
Later.
Look, if we can beat the army to the point where we can be ahead of them and be confident that we're gonna make it to this place before them, I'll give you a whole bottle.
Why do I feel like a child being bribed with a treat right now? I don't know how I
You're
feel about
not.
this.
I'm just saying, like, I will be in a celebratory mood at that point.
Yeah, so Mizu and I are on sky duty. So Mizu would
Just
definitely have a
Keep
beer.
going.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Gonna try to not look up, but if we need to, I'm not looking directly.
All right. So there is a little bit of this, a little bit of the forest reaches down to the river, and that is presumably about as far as you guys get for the night. At the river, there is sort of a shallow-ish sort of cove along the riverbank, and it is iced over. So it is still still got ice over
I'm gonna
it.
do the water breathing again for everyone.
Okay. And Cabbage, this actually looks like the kind of place that in your travels up and down the river, the riverboats would stop off for the night. It's sort of protected. It's out of when the river is not frozen over, it would be out of the current, out of the wind, and a good place to tie up for the night. As it is, it's it's iced over.
All right.
Are there likely to be any boats moving northwesterly right now?
River's frozen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that the boats around here have the ability to put down ice runners and keep operating in the
But
winter.
do any go down this river?
Now, this river doesn't get a lot of traffic because there's nothing down the river from here. There's not a settlement, not a lot of farmland or anything like that on this particular river.
Yeah, no, it's probably gonna be pretty quiet.
All right, then here's where I make the decision. We go through the night on a sled on the river and hope that we get in front of the army before it crosses.
That would be my preference, but I don't know that it's a big risk no matter what we do at this point. This risk just, I think, has the highest chance of getting us there first.
You know the river better than any of us. What do you think?
Do you think we could run or walk the distance to get to the lake before they cross?
/sled.
I mean, we could also do a combination of the two.
There are going to be spots along this run where the currents are fast enough that even during the dead of winter, it probably hasn't frozen over. So a lot of really rocky patches, rapids, that kind of thing.
I don't know, it's not gonna be a smooth. Even with the water this frozen, there's places that are going too fast to really freeze up.
I didn't expect it, but even still, do you think we could?
I mean, we'll be making maybe 1.5 times our normal walking speed.
We definitely would not be able to go the whole way. I'm not sure if it's even a good idea, but
Killian has those white sheets that he threw over the tents previously. If we want to fashion both a sail and a cover for our sled.
Is there even enough wind to use it as a sail?
I mean, we're on a river. I don't know that we would necessarily need it. That's
Could Mizuki make something big enough to fit the majority of us on?
I mean, if all she's using is like iron, yeah, she probably could. I mean,
she could
the
also make
runner. I mean, she
runners.
could make the runners. Building up the platform for you guys to ride on might be a little bit beyond her, but you guys
But we
could be
could
Well,
help
the
work
trees,
on
the
that.
trees next to us, are they the same size as like the redwoods that we live in?
Yeah,
We
it'd
could,
be
we
easy
could
enough to.
debark one of them and just use one of the massive things of bark as a runner.
I mean, by
The
the
runners
time,
are the ice blades.
I mean the base.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So just Mizuki just makes the runner in kind of the frame, and we can use one of these giant bark things as kind of like the platform.
Yeah.
by the time we do all this, I don't know that we're saving any time.
Well, if we do this tonight and are ready to go by morning,
That's fair.
Okay. Well, we do risk,
because we have to rest either way.
and that means then that means at that point we're risking trying to get past them during the day, and it makes it more visible for them to see us.
Right, but I mean, that's going to be an issue no matter what we do. Because
Yeah.
if we're slow and they catch us on the road, we're sitting ducks.
If she uses her channel divinity, she could be able to make all of it
Yeah, I saw that.
accurate.
Um,
I mean, 100 gold worth.
That's up to Dina's discretion.
It would just be essentially a pontoon boat. So I guess like in that
Yeah.
space, 100 gold
yeah.
would still probably be enough. Oh, so I guess it wouldn't be too
How
bad.
we could go a couple of hours. I kind of don't want to stay near this forest.
Yeah. I mean, we could bounce tonight, even if we decided once we have this set up, we could bounce over to the next section of forest, pull off, or until we hit the next section of
Rough.
untravelable water, and then
I
make
would
camp in
prefer
the
to do
next
that
section
than
of forest.
spend a night here.
You're right,
at
Griff.
whatever could fly
Killian
here.
could help for sure,
Yeah.
and he'd be willing to.
Let's.
Let's do
I like
then.
that idea. Let's start tonight, and if we feel like it's a good thing, we'll pull off.
Or
Also, provided we're doing watches the same way we have been, we could probably pull at least 2 shifts during the night. If Killian can do his magic floating bar thing, he was able to move that, and that could drag us along or at least give us some speed
Ooh.
if we
Yep.
tie on.
But as far as I was aware when Killian explained how it worked, it just goes only up and down. It does not decrease like weight or anything.
No, so I can pull it up again, but it moves 20 feet in any direction.
No, any direction up and down. Levitates. Levitates. The only thing about levitate is that it can only go up and down. It can't go sideways.
I'll check it real quick, but I mean there are options.
Well, then let's.
Let's do this
I
thing.
guess while Mizuki and Killian are working on getting the frames, some of us will go and get some bark,
Okay.
and then some of us are. I think some of us are probably
you're
going
right.
to find like a branch
Small
that we could
timbers,
use for the mast or whatever.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll help collect wood stuffs.
Make me an investigation check.
Pretty good roll.
17.
Okay. You almost missed it for it being so dark. But out on the ice, actually, there is a standing timber that would be almost perfect as a mast.
Cool.
And as you approach it,
It attacks you.
as you approach it, you realize that's because it is a mast. Except it's a mast that's been made out of stone.
That seems like a
Pardon?
bad idea.
That's not good.
No, it wasn't originally.
The master.
Do you inform us of that?
So that means it's not a looking at it thing.
I have no. Then that begs to differ of what could turn
A tree into
a tree
stone.
into stone.
Yeah.
I mean, a tree is technically a living organism. I don't know if that matters, but
It kind of shoots down the idea of like looking at it was the problem.
Hiya, Chipper.
Whichever.
There
We
are
come
snacks,
bearing
Chipper.
snacks. Just for you, and you're not here to enjoy them.
Okay.
So,
Then let's hurry, in case whatever this is finds us.
indeed.
I'm gonna get turned to stone.
There's a good chance.
Yep.
A lot of us could
Alexander.
My goodness.
Now we're gonna take it. This is sort of more your thing anyway.
She's a pirate.
be. You are a pirate.
Like, and I have very, very.
If it
little
gets like
good
too
stuff
dark,
to
I'm
do.
gonna have Inger come back
Yeah.
down
Okay.
because I don't think he's able to see that far when it turns
It's
dark.
not
Yeah,
particularly
he wouldn't
useful
be.
But before he does,
however,
does it
also,
look like
you know,
the
I could
army
run
is setting up
snuggle a baby with
camp
me,
for the
tea,
evening?
coffee.
Can he see like tiny fires going up?
Yes.
Okay. That means they're not on a devil march.
Actually, so so do you call people over to look at this thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I would have gone over, yeah.
So Mal,
Mm-hmm.
you notice that this is not. It's not the case that this is something that was wood and got turned into stone. This is worked stone.
Interesting.
Huh.
So I was sort of suspecting that this was another thing that got turned into stone, but there's chisel marks. If you look really closely here, somebody made this on purpose.
Are there rocks that can float on water?
Very small rocks. Churches! A duck. Not that I'm aware of. At least not anything that traditionally classifies as rock. There's stuff like pumice and things that, given the right circumstances, could hold enough air.
Have I ever seen a stone mast?
No.
Maybe
Nothing that you've ever seen.
It could have been enchanted to float.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't.
Are there any like engravings that would be marks of enchantment that I'm aware of?
Anybody want to
Make me an Arcana.
somebody
Yeah, that'll
cast
be good.
identify?
None of us can.
Dang it.
Mizuki could, but she's busy making the rum.
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
busy.
12.
Maybe
Not that you see,
if she
no.
still has a spell slot for after she's done with that, might be good to identify that.
Well, or we could just keep looking because.
Yeah, this is gonna be too heavy, especially if the ice gets thin.
I just I
mean,
don't want to know what it is because I think that we should use it. I'm wondering if this is somehow connected. I know that it's not like something that has been turned into stone, but I am curious if it is something that has to do with whatever it is that is turning things into stone.
I mean, maybe they seem kind of unrelated to me aside from the fact that they're both stone.
Possibly. But if it doesn't take her long to cast that before we
It'll
cast
take her
off,
10 minutes,
it
Or-
might be.
20 minutes if she does it as a ritual, so she has her spell slots open still.
I want to know.
I wanna know.
Alright, I mean,
Can you show me?
I guess what's another 10 minutes on top of what we're doing?
And that's just my own thought. We don't have to do it if you guys don't want to.
In the meantime, I'm going to keep looking for a backup in case this is just regular stone.
I
We still
think that
need
this
a
should be a backup.
Yes, we
Yeah, the stone one
we
should
do
be the
need a
backup.
mast. I just would like to know what this is before we leave in case it has some kind of important significance to us.
That's fair.
But yes, wooden mast. I will help.
A stone mast in a place where you might rest otherwise. This is a cove that Keith said that ships might stop in.
Sorry.
You're good.
I'm slow.
So I'll start working on the sheets as a way to cover us, as well as to maybe use
Okay.
as a sail.
Doesn't take you guys long to find an alternate that you could use as a mast. A sapling of decent length and girth to be able to do what you need to do. And so you waste no time chopping that down and trimming it up and cleaning it up. The time passes. Mizuki does her thing and gets the runners and the frame and all with Killian's help. Comes together actually relatively easily, relatively quickly.
All right.
Awesome.
And then Griff, are you wanting to do identify on the stone mast? And we'll give her a minute to figure that out
So
while she's answering.
So do you want to travel in the night with your double team idea?
I don't know if that'll work. That would have been something that would have had to have come from Killian, because I don't know what spells he has. So in theory, somebody could be pushing and maintaining our speed, and also, keeping watch ahead of us during a watch.
While everyone else sleeps on the boat?
I don't know.
That's an
Though.
idea,
I mean,
but the
travel at
problem
night has its own risks, especially if we're thinking that there are places that aren't going to be safe to cross on the sled.
Griffin said yes.
I don't judge. It's okay.
So perhaps it'd be better just to travel during the day. It's risky, but so is everything we're going to do.
That's fair.
Okay.
And at least then we could see a little bit better ahead of ourselves to know when we're going to run out of ice.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we can get in front of them before they cross the river.
Yeah, we'll try and get an early start.
Okay.
I mean, or as you said, we could try to just make a quick jaunt up river, or down river, I guess, to this next section of trees, so that we're potentially away from whatever this thing is turning things into stone is.
Hopefully.
I would prefer to get away from whatever the stone thing is, but
So we start tonight,
Just
make camp.
far enough to get,
have a short night. But
yeah. And hopefully it makes a difference and the whole forest isn't like this.
I mean, that they are a separate forest, at least on the map. But
I am curious as to how this is going to, look, because I've not known of anything that can turn something to stone like that before. I don't know if it flies. It might not be contained.
well, I've
in a
heard
single
various
forested area.
stories, but
Well, I mean, I've heard.
any of the things I can think of from those stories, none of them, as far as I'm aware, can fly.
so Griffin actually just gave an option in between she and Killian. We might be able to sort of hot air balloon this, not fly, but use hot air as a directional movement. If she does continual flame and he does control flames.
Well, continual flame doesn't give heat.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it doesn't produce energy either because that would be broken.
Aside from which, if we're talking about things that suddenly become incredibly apparent,
Well,
I feel like
we'd want to put it inside of something that we could use to direct it anyway. But that won't work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If you
Good
see
idea.
a bunch of people floating through the sky, I think that it
Oh,
hides
not
less
flying,
well.
not
I
flying, but using it
don't-
as
yeah, and
directional on the ice. But
I don't have
Oh,
anything
I
that
see,
could.
I see. I got
yeah, it won't work if it doesn't produce energy.
Yeah, I
My
don't.
brain suddenly went like dirigible.
Yeah, let's hot air balloon
Like that's
this.
a
Yeah, and
terrible
I
idea.
don't have anything that could help us with this either. So
It's a
Gotcha.
cool idea, but also it would be very obvious.
Cool.
okay.
Terrible.
All right, so Mizuki spends about 20 minutes or so casting Identify as a ritual.
It's a big rock pole.
No, actually. It is the protruding mast of an old dwarven stone ship.
Stone ship. So stone ship was a thing.
Mm-hmm. You've never seen one. You've never even heard of one. You've never heard of one.
Yes, I don't think any of us would have known.
No, nobody would have heard of these things, but it is a thin, worked shape of stone, as light as it can possibly be, but still rigid, and broad enough to displace enough water to float.
Oh.
So it's light enough but broad enough that it's still able to remain buoyant.
Can I mark this on your map, please? Because I want to come back here.
Yeah, because I'm sure we can't dig it up.
Even if we could, we're on ice. Not water, excuse me.
Although, stone ship, it's essentially already a giant sled.
But yeah, without magic, and our magic people are mostly gone. Mostly gone. So unless you have something specifically, our magic people that might be able to tell me otherwise aren't here.
Yeah, fair. So.
Alright, so we're off to the next section of woods where we set up camp for the night.
Yeah, let's go through the night a little bit. Is it a submarine?
That'd be cool.
No, it's not a submarine. It would have been a surface vessel.
Well, it's currently a
Submarine.
But I guess it's not a marine. It's a sub.
Merciful.
It,
Yeah. It's a dirt
Submersed.
sub.
Alright. Yeah, let's push on
it's an
until we
ice
can.
sub.
Nice sub.
Yeah, let's push on until we can get to
Sub-ice.
Yeah, it's some ice.
to the other patch of woods where we'll.
Okay,
Make
so
camp,
so how are
just
you
so we
guys
can-
making that? How are you making it go?
Wind?
Water, fire, heart. Sorry. By your powers, I don't know why my
Your
brain
powers
just.
can
Planet.
That's
Poor Indian. Anyway.
my knee. Oh.
I've been given heart.
Sorry, that was. I don't know why my brain just went there, but it did.
Why is heart one of the 5 elements? Anyway,
Mal will push
Okay.
until we get some momentum going, and then he'll sort of like hop on,
Dogs let
and
it.
then and then push as we slow down.
Okay.
And I'm assuming Mizu will help him take turns on that.
All right.
And if we need to trade out people, I am not that strong, but if we get some momentum going, I can at least keep momentum.
we want to
happening.
use some light.
What's that?
We want to use some light.
Most of us can
We're
see by dark,
potentially
right?
exposed at this point. Like,
I think Cabbage is
No,
the only one.
they're
who-
still
No, Cabbage
Dark
has
vision
that way,
does
though, right?
goggles.
Everyone has dark vision capabilities.
Yeah, it's sort of the rolling hills of the grasslands. So yeah.
gotcha. I mean, we potentially could, but I don't know that it's worth the risk.
Yeah.
Okay, then
And
let's
we
just
all have dark vision, so.
yeah, then
some
let's just
will.
go.
Okay. So go ahead and just make me an athletics check.
Do you want me to do it?
There you are.
That's a natural 20.
Yep. Plus 7.
Okay.
Just kidding. I don't want Mizu's help.
All right.
We'll save her
So
for-
you're.
For round 2.
It does take a good bit of effort to overcome the inertia,
Yeah, especially
Um,
with everybody on board.
but once it's sliding, it slides pretty well.
You're going down-ish, right? Down.
I mean, it's not super down.
Downslope as much of as a river can.
Yeah,
Without
so-
being a waterfall.
Without being a waterfall.
Yeah, so it's actually almost imperceptibly flat. I mean, it's got a little imperceptible down, is what I mean, but it's mostly flat. There are now, obviously, you have been forewarned that there are spots where that may not be the case, and running through them at high speed probably not going to be great for you.
Yeah.
But for the moment, you've got it moving, and it's moving relatively smoothly.
Who is on front doing lookout?
It shouldn't.
I can do it.
Inger will assist you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll watch the skies.
I figure since
Through my.
it's on a river,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly a boat, but
it's more my territory
more-
than the others.
yeah.
This is more of a sled, really.
So go ahead and you and Ingir make your perception checks.
21. I'm glad I have someone else to do the perceptions for me.
24.
24. Okay.
Jeez.
For the first mile or two, it is clear sailing, smooth sailing.
Oh.
Oh, baby snores. You guys can't
Still
hear
very
him.
Stuffy.
You guys can't hear him, but he's
Well, it is
kind
that
of
time
stuffed
of the
up a
year,
little
so.
bit. Hmm.
I feel your pain, buddy.
Um,
Going on 3.5 weeks at this point.
Bless his heart.
Okay. All right. So you guys keep
Trucking.
trucking pretty good. Since you're pushing, well, you got your arms full. Danny, give me a d20 roll.
4.
Okay. Ingir, Cabbage, make your perception checks.
Natural 20 for a 23.
Okay.
What was my number last time? 24?
Mm-hmm.
27.
Okay. Up ahead, off to one side of the river, you are approaching one of those spots where the water is moving fast enough that it hasn't frozen over. But it's one of those weird spots where the river sort of splits a little bit, and the other channel is still calm and still frozen over.
So left.
Yeah, you'll want to go left.
Okay. Ingir will press upon you. Left, 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 left.
So Mal's gonna do this like sliding skid thing where he digs in his heels, leaning into the turn.
Okay. Make me an athletics check.
Left is the right way, right? Okay.
So he's also going to have his shadow dig in its heels in the same vein,
Okay.
and use its shadow shield, like digging in.
You watch as Ingir just like grabs onto the edge of the bark and just like holds on.
It's like the sled definitely needs to
Okay,
be
sorry, what was I
handles.
rolling?
Athletics.
Okay, so that is a 20,
Ooh.
21.
Okay.
This is like the one area that Mal really excels. Like, give him something to do with strength or con, and he's great.
Well, you filled that role pretty well.
Yeah. So that you're able to even at speed, you're able to get your sled turned and headed down the right direction.
And we go, well, end over end, because it turns all the way and then just flips.
All right. So now that you've got it going left, you've got to get it going back to the right to keep to
Right.
to pull yourself back to the main channel.
Oh, that was good. 17.
17. Not as smoothly. You do wind up losing a little bit of speed through this one.
You just see Ingir go shh, kind of to the edge a little
Oh,
bit.
good.
Just by the turning, he just slides a little bit. Grab onto him.
You good there, buddy? If you could do that a little bit smoother, Skipper.
Well, excuse me.
All right.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
I know.
All right. So make me a d20 roll.
You can always count on me to F it up at the end.
Okay. All right.
Waterfall.
Ingir, Cabbage,
Reverse waterfall.
because you guys have been coming around a curve, make your perception checks at disadvantage.
So just a straight roll for Ingir.
6. Guys. I don't want to die in cold water.
19.
19. Okay.
Thank goodness.
So you catch it just as you come around the corner, just as the runners sort of even out. You realize that you're headed straight for an enormous rock in the middle of the river, and on either side of it, the current has picked up again, and it is just water. It's rapids.
You hear in your mind, rockhead. We need to stop.
And there's no real good place to go.
Left.
All right.
Are we gonna try and jump the gap?
No, but we're gonna have to take one of the rapids because we can't go into the rock.
Why don't we just stop?
I don't think we can at this point.
So you've heard Ingir say stop. You've heard Cabbage say go left.
gonna trust Cabbage.
We're gonna.
I'm gonna
We're
say
gonna-
Killian's gonna hold a levitate to levitate the whole thing. Just to kind of.
Levitate at
I don't know
speed.
that he can.
Oh no! I can only
Because
do
he can only do like
500
500 pounds.
Can he do that to help with this?
Not sure that he can.
Okay.
Okay, so you have a choice to. So you're going left. Make your athletics roll.
25.
25. Okay, so you do sort of dig in and
Drift left.
drift left, and about the time you straighten up, you start to hear the ice crackling under your runners, and it just suddenly just gives way, and you are in the river in the rapids.
I went left!
It was this rock.
Why didn't we stop?
We couldn't.
And
Okay.
the moment it hits the water, his shadow disappears.
Okay.
Are we floating, quote unquote?
Yeah. What
Well-
exactly is happening?
Make me a d20 roll.
Roll a natural 20. We just bounce off of the water. I can see the natural 20, but it's not on the right side.
2.
2.
Ooh, 2?
Yeah, no, it was not built for flotation so much. Now, it's not sinking right away. It is made out of wood products.
We
After
were
all,
moving pretty fast forward.
you were moving pretty fast forward, so
Like
it's
a
sort of
log ride.
hydroplaning a little bit at the moment, but it is out of control. And once it starts slowing down, as it is doing,
How
it
far are
will
we?
probably start sinking.
How far are we to any kind of
Solid.
solid?
You're probably within about 50 feet of the shore.
How far are we to the other side of the rapids?
You make me a perception check.
6.
You have no idea. All you see is this spray of water going everywhere.
Oh dear. So
So you guys sort of careened around a corner, and as you were straightening out, there was this rock in the way, and Ingir said stop, and Cabbage said go left, and Mal listened to Cabbage. And so then the ice gave way, and you're sort of hydroplaning across the top of the water in the rapids.
well, crap. Okay. There is
Head
not a
to
darn
shore?
thing I can do.
Head to shore, I guess. I guess this is where we're camping.
Fair.
Yep. I'm gonna start getting the people that I don't think can swim.
Yeah, freezing water, probably not.
Well, the
Akarai
water,
grabs
she
a
has her
rope,
armor.
ties
Oh,
it to the
no.
mast, and takes off running across
Mizuki
the
has
water.
walk, so.
Across the water
Mizu does.
Mizu does, yeah.
to
I
the
don't.
to the shore, and he ties the rope around a tree there.
Akarai?
Yes.
What?
Oh yeah, dope monk shit.
Dope monk shit.
Dope
I
monk shit.
forgot.
Grab the rope!
Grab the rope.
He's very dexterous.
Mal, can you just like...
I'm in the water.
Oh
I'm
no.
helping you out.
Okay.
You are not helping Mal out
Why?
because he is no longer attached. The moment he hits the water, he had like
Oh yeah, he
he's
was
getting
pushing,
ripped
not...
from the back of this sled. Like there's no way he could.
Well, good news, you can breathe underwater,
Can I-
but...
Okay, well, I'm
tentacle
going
him?
in after you.
Yes.
I want to tentacle him. Oh. There's not a
I don't know if this is the
Why?
right time and place.
traitor.
Because Killian's not here.
Oh.
Who is
So
played
you-
by Lance.
So you guys all see this inky blackness run down her arms and then shoot out into the water. Have you seen this before? I don't think Mal has.
No. Because we met... The last time it was used,
It was underwater.
It was at the boat
Yes.
against
I don't know
Alma.
if you have either.
No,
No,
it
it happened
when
under the ice.
Cabbage
Oh,
was
did it?
Yes.
underwater.
It happened under the ice, but it would have been under the ice where he wouldn't have been able to see it.
Right.
Yeah, my shadow could have, but I don't see through my shadow
Right.
yet, so.
So you got sort of ripped off the back of the boat as it sort of hydroplaned away from you. But you're in the river, you're in the water, you're in the current. And you're sort of just bobbing there and white, spray in your eyes everywhere. And you feel something wrap around your waist
I'm getting killed by a kraken.
Yep.
and start
river
pulling you
kraken.
towards the sled.
I just like catch you like a really bad football catch and fall
Mizu,
back
can you?
into the
Not
boat.
Emmy, sorry, not Mizu. Cabbage. Cabbage, can you swim?
Of course I can swim.
Oh, good.
She's a pirate, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Alright, well, see you on shore, and I'm just gonna into the water and swim to
Also,
shore
that's the first time
with my 30 feet
all
of swimming
pirates are
speed.
pirates.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
She's very excited.
So everybody else is grabbing onto the rope and doing what? Is he pulling them in? Are they climbing on the
I'm
rope out?
getting everybody else out and onto the rope so that they can make it to shore.
Okay, once everyone is either tied to the rope or grabbed a hold of the rope or being carried by someone who is grabbing the rope, Acherai does grab on and start hauling it hand over hand towards the shore.
I'd help him, but I would be useless.
So
I can
the
try.
boat is
Is being held onto now by Mal because he still has no idea what's grabbing him because his eyes are closed.
But you do find you can breathe underwater,
I
so
mean,
that's
honestly,
good.
that is very fair given other evidence that,
So the rope goes taut. It's like it's hung up on something.
I'm gonna.
Malfeasance.
Malfeasance?
Malfeasance!
Where's my... Oh, sorry. Yep. Oh, sorry.
For malfeasance's sake.
Yes.
I'm gonna, like,
Open your eyes. Get up.
Is there still a thing around his waist?
Oh yeah, I'm not letting go until I know you're safe.
That's Simmy. Get up.
So is it your tentacles out, or do you have your arms around him?
As soon as I float him in, I would have just grabbed around him.
Okay, sorry.
Well, the tentacles might also still be there, but
He's probably not paying enough attention.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, come on.
Just going back into the tattoos, like one of those,
Get on the
like
rope.
when you slurp
Well, he was
spaghetti,
just
just
on
like
the rope with Simi,
Something
just
like
he was
that.
holding onto the boat and dragging the boat too.
gotcha.
Which means nothing was getting dragged
Might-
anywhere.
Yeah,
Let go of the boat.
he does.
Okay. And
So
then
is the boat tied off? Is it so?
No,
no.
So we're losing the
we're
boat.
losing the boat.
Oh.
Well, not necessarily.
Acherai is pulling the boat in, right?
No, the boat
No,
is
he's-
not attached.
The
I
boat
thought-
is not
I
attached.
thought we attached it to the mast.
Nope.
He did,
But then he
but then he told you guys to get on the rope, to grab the rope. And
and then I would have untied it.
yeah.
We might be able to find it at the other end when it hits the ice again.
Oh, that's true.
If it doesn't sink,
If it doesn't,
If it
sink,
doesn't sink.
it's gonna sink.
it might.
Well,
sink.
then some of us should see where it goes, and I can probably swim out to it and tie a rope. We can pull it back in while everyone else starts up,
Why?
So we can run
so we can
tomorrow.
run it out tomorrow.
Because we still need to keep ahead of this army.
We,
We won't be running at night next time.
I feel like this is already a failed experiment.
Except it's not. We made really good time.
We did make really good time.
That's actually pretty fair.
Also, Acherai.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's get a fire and stuff going.
Yeah.
Because I'm
and
freezing.
do what we
Okay,
need to do
yeah,
as
sure.
far as-
You start doing that. You were walking on the water.
Running.
Technically, I was running on the water.
What level
There's
do I have
not
to be before
Much of
that
a
happens?
difference there.
I
you shouldn't have been
believe
able to
it
do
might
that.
be 8.
Okay, so I'm not there yet.
I'll check for you quick.
Magic.
No.
Yes.
Water displacement as you sit on. As you.
There are lizards that can run on water.
You're not a
I
lizard.
no, but I'm saying there are lizards that can run on water, and they clearly do not use magic. So I'm not using magic.
What is it?
I am in tune with the energies of my body
Ninth level.
and the world around me.
Magic.
It's part of improved movement.
Look, you're lying to yourself, and I'm not sure how long you've been lying to yourself, but you are lying to yourself, my friend. You are magic. Welcome to the team.
It's fine. We don't have magic.
Of course.
You know, you keep saying that, and it doesn't convince
You
me.
didn't tell me your ex-boyfriend was magic.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't know he could do that either. I'm not sure if it's magic or not, but I didn't know he could do that.
Can
He's
I
very
call you-
dexterous, but
Can I
Hey,
call
Mel,
you
once
lizard?
you get warmed, you want to help me
I
pull
would
this
prefer
leg?
that you not.
I think you'll need to catch it like immediately though.
Lizard?
The sled, because it'll keep going downstream.
That's fine. I can swim after it.
Okay. Yeah, the Mal will not wait to get warm to help you with that
Okay.
first.
Me and Mal are gonna go. I'm gonna grab a rope, one end of a rope, swim out to the thing, tie it up, and Mal's just gonna pull it back to shore so then we can use it again.
We'll swing it to shore as opposed to trying to drag it upstream.
Okay.
Or
That's a
across
good
stream to
plan.
shore.
Okay.
that's a good plan.
That's
So, if you two had babies, would they be half lizard? Like a kobold?
I almost busted out laughing like super hard, but Alexander is sleeping, so I'm holding it in.
That's
as
that's
hard as
probably
I
wise.
can.
That's probably wise.
Thanks, Brayden.
Oh, he woke up anyway as he was going down. Sorry.
So he didn't wake up screaming. That's
Good.
Right.
Good, good, good.
Got it. We're good.
Oh. Yes, sir.
I'm talking to him.
I know. I don't think that we would have half lizard babies. No.
Wait, are you saying you're gonna get together?
What?
We're pulling the boat.
What? Pardon?
Oh,
Oh, I'm not actually there.
Oh,
We're dealing with the boat.
okay.
Brayden, can I cry this?
I mean, he's
I
standing
mean,
there
he's
with us,
standing
yes.
right. I'm
I'm
standing
not
right
trying
there.
to be quiet.
He's in the NPC pocket. The NPCs say
Yeah,
everything.
but this is. That's right.
The all-knowing NPC.
I'm looking intently at Timmy.
I don't think biology works that way. I don't think we would have lizard babies.
he insists that it's not magic.
So the only other option is lizard?
Yeah,
Clearly.
he basically said so.
Also, I'm not sure that the whole having kids thing is on the table.
Why? I mean, have you seen the way he looks at you?
I mean, I'm pretty sure a couple of nights ago you kind of wanted to murder him in his sleep.
I go back and forth about things.
I would give you another inspiration if I could. You already have them both.
Yeah, that's going on TikTok.
I don't. I am very uncomfortable now.
Sorry.
It's-
Akra, are you
2 hours
uncomfortable?
18. What's that?
Are you uncomfortable?
I'm
Strangely
not a lot
comfortable.
makes me uncomfortable, but I have to admit, Cabbage, that
You make me uncomfortable.
no,
All of you.
you have a unique way of looking at the world.
I'm not totally sure if he's complimenting you right
This
now or
is
not.
such a great day. You called me a pirate. He's uncomfortable. I'm so happy. The ship died, but
No, we got it.
Good.
We tie it to a tree so it
Let
doesn't
it
get away
swing.
from us. Yeah. I mean, once it gets to the shore, we tie it to a tree.
You're trying to make him uncomfortable.
Warm ourselves up by the
Make it
fire.
actually work.
Make it so the fire isn't
He said
visible
it-
from the north.
Okay.
Kind of make like a
I was like,
picture of a
wait, no, just
snowbank
watch me.
against like a tree. Kind of put the fire there, so then it's not as visible
Okay.
to someone looking from the north.
Okay.
As long
Make
as they
me
can't sense
a
fires.
make me a survival check.
Can I have Killian do it?
Sure. Do you happen to know what his bonus is?
To perception?
To survival.
To
Oh,
survival.
survival, I think, has a +3.
So there you go.
Dirty 20.
Because he has
That'll work.
a -2 and then a plus
To wisdom? No, he's a
No,
minus
plus
in
3.
constitution.
That's right, that's right.
Dirty
I don't
20.
actually know then.
Okay.
A dirty 20.
He has proficiency, so it's at least a +3.
Yeah, that we'll give him that. You rolled high enough. It's fine. He's able to hide the fire pretty good so that it's not going to be seen from far off,
Alright, well.
or at least not from the direction of the army, which is the important part.
Well then, I guess we rest until dusk, no, dawn, and then we head back on the boat.
It's going to be a long day tomorrow.
Well, hopefully we can.
We'll be able to see farther and be better than we were tonight.
I just don't. We won't be super well rested, but
When are we?
Fair point. And I'm not exactly the most seafaring person, so if I need to take more of the watch tonight.
I don't think any of us are very seafaring. You're riverfaring.
true.
Waterfaring, I misspoke. My mistake. You
She's
almost
not
made cabbage
technically
explode.
wrong.
No.
Well, the seas are an entirely different metaphorical monster than rivers.
I'll get this someday. I just haven't been able to go far.
You
Because
can
I
do
had
it.
to work on saving the whole freaking world with you people.
Well, that might take us across some seas depending on where some of
I hope
these
so.
other things have landed.
What?
Wow.
Nothing.
Living on the sea?
No.
Oh yeah, you don't like the water.
No, I don't mind the water,
Oh no,
but the
you,
idea of being that far from shore,
so you don't like the water.
no, I don't mind the water. I just don't like when I can't feasibly swim to shore should something happen that destroys a boat.
Fair.
Now your Stephen is showing.
No. Steven just doesn't like the water. Because he can't breathe under the water.
But in this
That's
game,
why you have to learn how to scuba dive.
Exactly.
That reminds me of a story. Remind me to tell you guys later.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anyway, setting up watches that night.
I'll take first
Okay.
while I'm trying to get warm.
I'll take first as well.
Alright.
Okay.
We'll take second.
And
And
we
then,
probably only have time for 2 at this point with travel.
Yeah, probably.
and I only need a short rest anyway. Although I didn't use any spells, but you know, that's fine.
Okay. So first watch. Go right ahead.
You want to just take
What's-
advantage?
Yeah.
I remember
What
those.
watch is Acherai on?
Hmm?
What watch is Acherai on?
Whichever one you want him to be on.
Yeah.
He'll probably take first watch.
18.
18? Okay. Besides the sound of the rapids nearby, you don't
the noise.
hear a lot, see a lot. It's pretty quiet. Not a lot of wildlife around. Not sure if that's because you guys are around or
They're all
it-
stone.
if it's because it's winter and everyone is hibernating, or if they've all been turned to stone.
Hibernating. Yeah, that's what they're calling it now.
Permanently.
But you're not
Yes.
hearing a lot moving around.
So your bird things, do they have names?
Not that I know.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure they did, whatever.
Are you ever gonna tell Simi what's going on with those?
You weren't there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, do I know?
No.
Not out loud. I
Okay.
think
I'm
you
the
Then
only
know,
person who
right?
actually
Yeah, I
knows
left
that
it-
one,
I
right?
left
Okay, well
note.
then what I say stands because I don't know what you told her.
You probably do actually, because these two were trying to listen in.
They didn't
We
start
did
listening.
not. We did
though?
not start listening in until
Right,
right,
right.
After that
you started
part.
talking about how the slavery in your
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So you didn't
So
actually
your
hear that.
secret is actually
your
still safe.
yeah your secret is accurately safe.
Ah.
Accurately safe.
Yep.
I did tell Simi, yes.
Oh, like the truth, the actual truth, not
Yes.
just some story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
Is this something you only want to tell Semi because she's been bugging you about it?
I didn't really want to tell Simi either.
That's fair.
Stevie was happy to let it go at that point, but no. Gotta lie.
That's fair. So what kind of name is Mal anyway?
You guys did hear that part.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Only the part after all of that.
A made up one.
Really?
You called me by the name that I chose a minute ago.
I think we might have heard that.
Malfeasance? You chose the name Malfeasance. Do you know what malfeasance means?
I think we did hear this part.
Yep.
So, what's your real name?
My real name waits for me to live up to it.
Very cryptid. I like it.
When I feel like I deserve it, I'll take it up again.
What is your name? Godson Do-Gooder?
How did you know?
I'm very perceptive.
That's why I just help you see things.
Okay, so I understand not wanting to go by a name. Can I know it? I like names.
Just imagining Acherai sitting there just soaking all of this.
Yep, pretty much.
Yes. Yes.
You don't have to tell me. I'm just curious.
Well, since-
Actually, he's not.
Oh.
He's staring at Simi as she's
Yeah.
sleeping.
Oh, creeper.
creepy.
Just in love.
Sometimes that's the same thing.
It's cute when you've been happily in love and married for like years. It's creepy when there's weird.
Awkward tension.
Yeah.
There.
My name is Derek.
That doesn't seem terribly live up to ish.
Yep.
Thanks.
Does Derek mean something that I don't know?
Well, my name did. I love that quote. My name meant something to my family and to my clan. Something that I didn't really deserve, and until I do, I'm going to leave that name be.
That's fair. I won't call you that.
So for now, I'm Mel.
I like Mal. I will occasionally call you Malfeasance or other things that rhyme with that because
That is what you do, I
Yeah.
know. But that's why I decided on the name I did, and Mal was easier than Malfeasance.
That's true.
And people asked a whole lot less questions.
that makes sense. I mean, at least your parents didn't name you after a vegetable. Tell me what that's supposed to mean. Not even a good vegetable. A cabbage is so meh.
Cabbage is wonderful.
Yeah, but I could have been.
Put it in a stew, you chop it up, and it makes a wonderful crunch when you eat it.
I probably do too.
I need more than the 2. Yeah,
I-
I really needed more than the 2. Like, when you are at the table, I need more inspiration.
It's okay, I got a little duck. I'm just saying, like, if we're talking about vegetables,
Are you? If we're talking, never mind.
I don't know. I just like my a lot of my siblings got cool names, like potato or wheat. You can make bread out of wheat.
They were so close to wheat.
Or corn. I like corn. Cabbage is meh.
I mean, everyone has things about themselves they just like, right?
It's better than my middle name, though. You want to know what my middle name is?
Sure.
Eleanor.
Thanks, Chris.
Huh.
Oh, really?
Just staring. Mouth open. Huh. I would not have pegged you for an Eleanor either. To be fair, I wouldn't have pegged you for a cabbage.
I mean, I don't really know, but see, basically what happened, you're not from our town, so you don't actually know what happened, but basically, my parents, they had my first, my oldest brother, Barley. They were growing, can you guess, barley at the time. They had a really, really good crop, and so they were like, you know what, we're going to name our first child Barley, and then they did. And then they thought about it afterwards, and they were like, that's kind of a terrible idea. But then they had another kid, and they named her Spinach. And they just sort of were committed at that point. So all of us...
I think they should have been committed, yeah.
We all have vegetable names now, but they did give us all, like, normal middle names.
I'm not sure the potato is a vegetable by technical classification.
I mean, I don't think garlic is either.
Garlic? No.
No.
No, it's not.
But, food
That would be
names. We're all
amazing.
food names. So...
I mean, have you ever considered taking on a name of your own choosing?
Taking
I like
that
cabbage
very
just
bad.
fine. I don't like cabbage the vegetable, but I like cabbage just fine.
I suppose
Makes
it's a
me
good
stand
talking
out.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people think I'm lying when I tell them my name. That's
I
kinda
can
funny.
understand that.
Yeah. It really throws people off. So when I introduce myself and they don't want to tell me my name, their names, I go, "Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Cabbage," and then they go, "What?" And then there's this pause. While they consider whether or not somebody would actually have named their child.
Do they call that a pregnant pause?
I don't know. But anyway, that's the story of my name, since you sort of told me the story of your name.
You've also come across my family's name. I understand that you were the one that opened the box. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
You read the papers inside?
Yeah,
Out loud.
totally remember what they said too.
My family's name happened to come up in those papers, so. He's not gonna share it unless you ask.
What
But
was it? Is it that a few things have happened since I read those papers? Just a few. I know it was some
Buddy,
dwarvish sounding name.
that's racist.
In front of you.
Is it something with like a metal or something?
Iron, yes.
Iron. Iron knuckle.
Nope.
Iron toe.
You're just gonna look over at Akarai.
Iron fist. Derek Iron Fist. Did you have a middle name? Is that another thing dwarves do? Alright.
I mean, I don't know about dwarves generally speaking, but it's not something that my family did.
Fair enough. Well, nice to meet you, Mal.
Good to meet you too, Cabbage.
When are you gonna decide you're gonna go by your real name?
I feel like I deserve it.
Is that why you want to be a hero?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess if you need help, let me know. It seems like...
I think we're kind of on the path already.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like you should talk to somebody professional about. Feels like you've got some issues, but...
Join the club. We'll make shirts.
No,
Except our
the
Taylor
Taylor's
died.
dead.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Too soon. It will always be too soon.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let me know.
All right, second watch.
Hooray.
I so thoroughly enjoyed that. I miss having you at the table when you're gone. Oh, wow. I am heavily distracted and deep in thought about all
You're
of
also
things.
staring at...
Yes, I'm
17
also
for
staring
Inger
at
and a
Acherai.
dirty 20 for
Wondering
Milo.
why we would have
Nice.
lizard children.
You watch as he sleeps, his eyes aren't actually closed, there's just a film over them.
Like, oh, that explains so
Lizard
much.
man.
All right. So are you sending Ingir up to do aerial reconnaissance or not?
No, it's too dark to see, so I'll wait until morning so he can get a better view.
Okay. All right. In his patrolling around, he doesn't see anything close by. He's careful not to go out past Killian's alarm stones, obviously. But he doesn't see anything, and you don't really catch much of anything either. It's fairly quiet. You're from the city, it's the woods. It's all quiet, right? It's always quiet out in the woods. There's never anything moving around out here, making noise because you're used to cities, and cities are bustling and loud and what have you.
And Simi has not really spoken to you a lot since the revelation in the cave.
Yeah. Need to fix that. Has a good time as any.
Yeah.
He's sitting there writing.
I'll come over
What
and
did you
sit.
do with the papers?
They're still in my journal.
You didn't take them out?
I took them out and read them and everything, and I am keeping them inserted into the journal in the page that I am currently on at all times.
Gotcha.
So it moves with where I am. Hi. Hi.
I'll come over and sit by you.
She instantly just. Yep.
You doing all right?
Yeah, sure. I'm good. Uh-huh.
If it's any consolation, I didn't know that was you.
You didn't know me at all. There was no reason for it to have mattered. I'm struggling to wrap my head around the fact that anyone in that room was okay with that at all.
Yeah, that's a common occurrence.
Yeah, that's. There's been a lot. I discovered suddenly that I had a brother. Then I suddenly discovered that my brother died, and then I discovered that the person that my brother was in love with is fine casually okaying violence against people who have done nothing wrong. I don't
I know.
I don't totally understand what I'm supposed to be doing with all of this. And I don't have a god anymore to talk to about it. And I don't have Alma anymore to talk to about it. And I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about you. I've wanted to like you. I have liked you. I've tried to understand that all of the things that have happened have not been your fault, and that when we met you, you were grieving, and I'm trying in my brain to work out that you are a product of what you were raised into, so that would have played into what happens in that memory that Ingir showed me. I'm trying, and it's so hard. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about you.
Kind of was silent for a moment. Well, just so then you don't get confused on who says this, and I'm going to disguise self and turn back into Milo. I have to get the accent real quick. You should probably think lesser of me then.
How do you want me to think of you? Not should. How do you want me to think of you? I mean, in her brain, that's pretty much already there.
In honesty, probably just like a monster like the rest of my family.
You want me to think of you like that?
It's what I am.
That's not what I'm asking. If you could change anything, if you could adjust your sails and do whatever you wanted to now that you are not living in your fancy ass castle with all of the weirdness that went along with that. If you could be the kind of person that right now you wanted to be, what would that be? What would I think of you if you could just be, knowing what you know now, the person that you want to be?
Who would I want to be? I wouldn't want to be what I am now. I was not a good person when I was in Costas.
Well, apparently there was a mighty long list of those.
Yeah, well.
This weird, stupid, ridiculous mishap that whatever it is that is making you look like my brother when you're not having to pretend to be yourself, which is weird. It's strange to say that out loud.
You can probably blame that on Imus.
Yeah. It's put you in a weird position, I think. I mean, well, obviously it's put you in a weird position, but it's put you in a unique position to see the world through a lens that isn't yours. And to kind of reinvent yourself. What did you love about my brother I barely knew him.
He actually cared. Didn't care about my standing or who I was or where I came from. He just cared about what was beyond.
See, now, I know Bucket was a little dense now and then, but I feel like he had a pretty fair ability to see people. And I feel like if you were really the monster that you think I should see you as, based on some of the things that have happened, that he wouldn't have loved you. But now you get to choose to be something different.
Right.
So, if you had all of the experiences that you've had up to this point with us, and tomorrow your life could go back to normal, back to your fancy palace and your hoity-toity family and all of the structure and weirdness, would you be different than you were before?
Knowing what I know now, I would probably raise Costas to the ground. Show all those hoity-toity nobles that they can't keep getting away with it.
I'm glad that what you've seen has changed you now. And I'm sorry that I'm struggling with it, but that will get better. But since at some point, if we survive whatever the heck we're about to do here, I suspect that we'll find our way to Costas. I feel like it's also worth reminding you that at one point you would have been one of those hoity-toity nobles just because you didn't know any better. So, while I agree that there are some large changes that need to be made, and probably with blood in the ledger, maybe raising it to the ground is not exactly what should happen. I think if we want to change things, to actually change things, the people need to understand what's been happening and then have the option to choose what they believe in, what they're willing to die for to maintain.
I'm beginning to sound more and more like Justice.
Well, you know, somebody has to.
Cabbage in the distance.
But the gods, I think, at the moment are trying to work on figuring out what happened to Zeugen, so...
The call of my bed was just too much for him to resist, apparently.
I don't think it was that.
I don't either, seeing as nothing particularly happened other than him getting kicked out of it. But in my brain, that was funny. A -1 charisma. I gotta do what I've got. I'm working with what I got.
I feel like there's something else going on then.
With Justice?
Perhaps. Well, we know what happened to the other one.
Well, apparently, you know, a combination of Zoigan being a knucklehead and not remembering what his job is, and me apparently not believing hard enough. I've tried since then, though, and no amount of me affirming that he is justice and all of that has put him back in that spot. So,
Well, justice is more complicated than that.
tell me.
There's not necessarily a general justice. Justice is case by case.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, effectively, that's what I would argue for in Costas.
Yeah.
So, did you know Akarai and Costas?
As in your friend, or you refer
No,
your friend?
Rosk is the last name.
Yes, yeah. Him.
I don't believe so.
Hmm.
I knew Master Osk a little bit. He would be at galas and other events. Other than that, no, I didn't know Akarai.
I was just, I don't know, curious what the rest of the world saw.
What do you mean
It
with the
doesn't
rest
matter.
of the world stuff?
Oh, I mean, the person that I knew originally was very different than what he became, and now he's kind of swung back the other direction. I wasn't sure, if you had had experience with him. I was gonna ask what your perception of him was in that time, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. People can change. You've changed. So,
I'll kind of look over to Akarai. I don't think he necessarily changed. But being put in a position or being the son or daughter of someone can make you act differently than what you actually are. You put on a different mask when you're with them. You have to act differently, follow orders, do what you're told.
I think I trust what he's showing us now. I just still have a lot of thoughts.
I suppose he is as well. I mean, look at from his perspective, his entire world has been changed upside down. The person he trusted the most being his father, he turns out isn't actually his father.
That's true. And she's just gonna kind of smile. Funny how that kind of thing can really punch you in the gut, huh?
Yes.
And turn back. She is actually being somewhat light about it.
So you start to get something through Ingir.
This is where he turned to stone.
It's a light sort of mental touch, and you sense Ingir's confusion as he just sort of channels it and passes it on to you.
Confusion.
And it's a light mental touch.
Can I telepathically ask him what's going on?
Ingir does not respond, but the presence does.
New line, who did?
I look over to where...
Sister.
What?
And we're going to cut it off there.
Sister?
We're going to cut it off there.
What does that mean?
You'll have to come back next week to find out.
Adrian's dialing home.
So will you.
But Adrian didn't have a sister. Oh.
So.
Oh no. No.
So, if you want to get to the end of that little reveal, you'll have to come back next week. We will be back at our regular time. 6 o'clock Mountain Time. I leave that up to you guys to figure out what that is in your own time zone. There are far too many of them for me to do the math for you. It's pretty easy math. Spoilers. So come back and join us. We will be here and we will be having a lot of fun. Hopefully we will have Lance back. Hopefully we'll have Kyrie back and have the full table again. And we'll be able to see what becomes of all of the shenaniganery that we are
Do a little stabbery with the RP.
are unraveling here. Just a few quick reminders on the way out the door. Go to the YouTubes. Just go to YouTube, search for Casual Cactus. Casual with a C, Cactus with a K. It's the easiest way to find us. All of the videos go there, so if you miss a week or you want to catch up or you want to remind yourself of something like I sometimes have to do, you can go watch all of those. There are 30, this will be 38, 39, 40 because we had 2 session zeros.
Life hack: if you want to catch up, but you don't want to have to go through that many hours of content,
Just watch the recaps.
Watch the first 5 minutes or so of each of the videos, and you're good.
That's
Because we recap
the
a lot.
closest you're gonna get to a
I'm
recap
actually
video.
thinking of writing a script for bringing people up to speed. So
Probably
that's in the works.
Probably not a bad idea. We do also have our Discord server, so you can go there and subscribe to that. And anytime we put announcements about the schedule, if something weird comes up, we'll put them there on Discord. You can keep up with us that way. You can also keep up with Kyrie's creative streaming. She is quite active with that multiple times a week. So you can keep tabs on her when she goes live. The announcements when this channel goes live also get put there on Discord, so you can see all of that as well. That I think those are the big announcements for you guys. We look forward to having you with us again next week, and we're very appreciative that you were here this week. Remember,
Grab your
bats and grab your balls.
and if all you have is a hammer, that's not going away anytime soon, is it? If all you have is a hammer,
you haven't tried to make
everything
it go away.
looks like a glass house. Good night,
First
everybody.
2 times.